Joining me on India First is Derek O'Brien, Member of Parliament and TMC leader in Rajya Sabha. Derek O'Brien, merit in the BJP saying Didi may be looking for a safer seat, sir?
Trash, junk, dirty tricks, but not unexpected. We have a lot of respect for the chair of the Prime Minister, high respect. But we have no respect for the devious Narendra Modi. What a shame that he had to come today to a campaign in Bengal and make a statement saying that around the 6th of April that Mamata Banerjee is going to fight for a second seat. It took us 30 seconds in a press conference to dismiss this devious Modi's dirty tricks. Why on earth should she fight from a second seat? So the trolls, these are not trolls. This is the Prime Minister of India, Modi. She's won Nandigram.
Okay.
Why should she fight for a second seat? If, in fact, Mr. Modi and Mr. Shah are so interested in election strategies in Bengal in phases 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, they can still file a nomination. Since they're spending so much of time here and they're doing so very well reading off Bengali on their teleprompters written in Gujarati, they might as well want to fight a seat in 27th is the last day in Calcutta. Why don't they come and fight? The Chief Minister has declared
Derek
that she's
O'Brien,
fighting from
both
Nandigram.
you and Mamata Banerjee.
Now you come here. Let me just finish.
Okay.
Let me just finish. She's made it very, very clear it was Nandigram. First, they tried to provoke her by saying, why aren't you fighting the Calcutta seat? If she fought the 2 seats, then they would have said, oh, that's why you fight 2 seats because you're nervous of 1 seat. If you fought only Calcutta, then they'd have told you that, oh, you didn't fight rural Bengal. So this is cheap stuff. You know, you don't expect this coming. But then, today there's a bigger story.
So you are saying that she's not going to contest any other seat? Fair enough.
Not a single channel. No.
Okay.
No, 1 minute.
But let me ask you, let me put to you the next question. Let me put to you the next question.
But Mr. Sawant, may I give me 10 seconds? Please. I'm tempted to mention the April Fool's circus today because everyone's going on Nandigram. What about the circus running the government of India, where the finance minister of the country must have got a rocket telephone call in the morning from Mr. Modi and Shah because due to oversight that got rolled back. Nonsense. Discuss. These are the big issues. This is the government of India running a circus, Mr. Modi and Mr. Shah. And now you're giving us consultancy on where Mamata Banerjee will fight. I'm telling you she will not fight from any other seat. She's been saying this from day one. She's winning Nandigram.
You've made that
all
point.
the big
but
the mind games, Mr. Sawant.
Derek O'Brien, the point that both you and Mamata Banerjee made about the Prime Minister's speech in Bengal today. Now, he's done that in the past. He's done that in other states. Did that rattle Mamata Banerjee? Because the Prime Minister also said that Mamata Banerjee's actions reflect the exit poll or an opinion poll. Leaving Bhawanipur for Nandigram or writing to 15 opposition leaders reflect perhaps nervousness at not being able to take on the BJP on her own?
You see mind games. Mind games Mr. Modi and Mr. Shah are very good at. What about Mr. Shah's prediction that he's winning 26 seats out of 30 in the first phase? No, today there were 30 seats. I believe Mr. Shah was going to make a prediction of 32 out of 30, then he withdrew his submission. 8 out of Mr. Amit Shah's earlier projections, you've forgotten Delhi. Twice he said you ended up in single digits. Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan. These are the mind games. We will carry on playing these mind games for the next 27 days. But there's an issue in Bengal, and the issue is very simple. What work has Mamata Banerjee and her government done for education, for health, for infrastructure, for students, for women in the last 10 years? And what has Mr. Modi and Mr. Shah done in their government for the last 6 years? What have they promised? What have they delivered? I know they have delivered 15 lakhs into everyone's bank account. I know they have not. I know they've delivered that, correct? I know that within 50 days after demonetization, I know they delivered a fantastic economy, didn't they? I know they've promised to triple farmer income by 2022. Never mind, it will happen in 2028. What is the credibility of the promises? What about the Citizenship Amendment Act? Where is it gone? So I use my words carefully.
Okay.
If you keep making promises and not delivering, the collegial word we would use for people who make promises consistently and don't deliver, you call them con men.
Okay. So when you raise that point and when you raise these issues, fair enough, then why does Mamata Banerjee need to do a Chandi path or disclose just before elections her Shandilya Gotra? Because then again, according to the BJP, this is Mamata Banerjee perhaps realizing that she may not win just with the minority votes and is appealing, reaching out to the majority votes. Again, the allegation reflects her nervousness, sir.
Fair. Fair question. I will give you two parts to that. First part to that is the agenda is on development. We are not going anywhere else. It's on development because in Bengal, in Trinamool and everywhere else, the belief is that religion is a very private matter. Festivals are for everyone. But that doesn't mean you will play majority, minority, you bring Pakistan into the narrative. No. Hinduism is not the intellectual property right of the BJP. So if Mamata Banerjee decided to recite the Chandi Path, well, good luck to her. She would recite it at home, so she's decided. Otherwise, it would be a much better idea to tell us which state in India has built the most roads, which state in India is number one for MSME, which is a better program started 2-3 years before the central programs. One was Kanyashri, which started before Beti Bachao and got the UN award, and the other one was the health card. So these are the issues. We'd love to debate these issues. Mr. Sawant, you please call anyone from the BJP, try and get somebody, one of their 18 MPs from Bengal, because one-third of those MPs are now fighting MLA elections, and we'd love to debate all these issues. We'd love to have Dr. Amit Mitra debate anyone from the BJP on why she rolled this back in the morning, or if she prefers not Dr. Mitra, we can try Yashwant Sinha from Trinamool Congress. Come, let's debate jobs. What have we done in Bengal which has brought unemployment down by 40%, while you in the pandemic took it up by 40%? These are the issues. But these are the issues. But when you come to Bengal and you want to polarize, you played a clip, Mr. Sawant. Mr. Sawant, you played a clip. Mr. Sawant, you played a clip of Mr. Adhikari.
Go on, sir.
Before this program started. What is this election? What is the kind of, what is this India? This is not about Trinamool winning, for God's sake. This is not about the manifesto of BJP or the manifesto of Trinamool. No, this election is where the constitution of India is at stake. When a BJP candidate says, if you don't vote for me, you're from Pakistan. Get a life.
Okay, fair enough. And yet your party MP Mahua Moitra tweets on Chotiwala Rakshas. Now the Prime Minister again makes this point that is this not another attack on the Hindu way of life? Or when Mamata Banerjee gets angry with the Jai Shri Ram slogan or has issues with Durga Visarjan, when you talk about development, it comes back to these issues. What is Chotiwala Rakshas?
Now, if you're going to ask me to comment on a tweet which one of our 35 MPs made, next time you please call her up and get her on your program. She'll explain your tweet. Next, you'll ask me to explain the Facebook post of 220 MLAs who we have, or we have 1,400 councillors. The lady who made the tweet can answer on her own as to what I haven't even seen her tweet, but I'm sure she'll be in a good position to answer. And this is the issues in Bengal. The development issues and all are done, they are dusted. The BJP started this campaign. They were 3% behind us in the 2019 Lok Sabha election. The difference between the Trinamool Congress and the BJP was 44 and 41. They were 3% behind us, 40 seats behind. The reality today is not these where you're trying to deflect. The real challenge for the BJP is first try to catch up from 41 to 44. They've been trying for 2 years. It hasn't happened. So much so one BJP didn't work, so now they've got 3 BJPs. The old BJP of Mr. Dilip Ghosh, the original. The second BJP in Bengal, which is the 5-year BJP of Mr. Mukul Roy. And the third is what we call the Tatkal BJP. Leaders who've joined in the last 3 months. They've tried all this, but we'll still won Nandigram. We'll still win Bengal. We're not talking big. It's a difficult election.
Sir.
Make no doubt, Mr. Sawant, it's a difficult election. And I'll tell you why. It's a 2-month-long election. You need money. You need big money to run a campaign for 2 months. Then their allies are stupendous. ED, CBI, they've got so much of muscle, so much of agencies. Everyone's getting CBI raid, ED raid. So it's a tough election. Make no mistake. It's a tough election. But on the other side, we have somebody
every aspect of
who has the humility to admit.
Okay. Go on, complete your sentence.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Mr. Sawant, and that's why we're having a conversation today. You're not interrupting me. You're asking me questions. I'm trying my best to answer questions. Maybe, Mr. Sawant, you or any of the media, middle, senior, can next time at least try to have a press conference with the Prime Minister. To be a big thing. In 7 years, none of you have asked him a question at a press conference. Imagine that. No? Nobody will ask him a press conference.
Okay.
Nobody today asked
Sir, I'm also looking forward to an interview with Mamata Banerjee, the Chief Minister. Oh, absolutely. So that's a story for another occasion.
1 hour with India Today. It was fantastic. In Hindi.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
She did an interview in Hindi, in very bad Hindi.
But yes. No, I am sure it is very good and it will continue to improve in the times ahead. But Derek O'Brien for joining me this evening on India First. Many thanks.